Oh, hello. I have a Altoid in my mouth. Welcome to the Move Back with me, your host, Lou. I'm in the car today, not alone. I was alone earlier today. But now I'm in the car with my friend Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, Lou. I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for coming by and sitting with me in the car.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad to be here.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
There's so many people who have been in the car who are, let me see if this, can I close this? Nope, I can't. I'm going to close the sunroof. I'm getting a lot of shine on the head.
Because
there you go.
they're not necessary.
April Allen is watching. I went to high school with April.
Oh, hey, April. What was Lou like in high school?
Oh, I don't think she's going to say. April Allen and I had several classes together. I don't know if she remembers, but one day we were walking down the street, and it was really windy.
Okay.
And I was walking with my friend. She was coming the other way, and then the wind blew her umbrella right into my face, and it punctured right below the thing punctured right below my eye, and I just had this weird bloody hole here. And then many years later, I did something that made her angry, and she was like, "I wish I put your eye out that day." Oh. That's high school for you. And Dustin is watching. Hello, Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
And Steve Rubin is watching. Steve Rubin is used to be the captain of my dart team.
You played darts?
I used to be in a dart league. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was fairly okay at it. Oh, if I had lost my eyes, I would have been prematurely a teenage blind person. But yes, it is unfortunate that I was not blinded by my high school friend.
Well, better luck next time, April. Good job.
Yes, well, sometimes I dream that she's coming for them. Many years later, she's always regretted not keeping them or really going for them more directly.
It's funny that you mentioned the dream thing because, even jokingly, because I've been having dreams lately about somebody I knew from high school, and they're very normal dreams, where we have a meal together, or we're both in we run into each other in a shop. And I don't know why this person's keep popping up in my dreams, but it's the sort of thing where it's happened 3 or 4 times over the past 2 weeks, and I kind of want to reach out to them, but it's probably really creepy to hear from somebody you haven't talked to since high school.
Oh, so you haven't talked to them?
No, we haven't talked in years. I don't know, would it be super weird for somebody to be like, hey, graduation was great. By the way, you've been featured heavily in my dreams over the past 2 weeks. How's it going?
Are you guys friends on Facebook at all? Or
we are friends on Facebook,
okay,
so it's very possible they may see this.
It's not an entirely out of the question, I've hunted you down, I've tracked you down, and now I want to reveal this strange fact to you that we are dream buddies.
Yeah, it wouldn't, it's not a conversational Facebook relationship. It's not where we comment on
now, would this person
things.
be upset that Roseanne Barr's show was canceled? Is that the issue, that they may be too conservative? Dustin is saying it would be weird, I think, but
I think Dustin also has
maybe
they would call the cops.
They'd be like, this lady I went to high school with just contacted me on Facebook. I'm scared. Please make her stop. I don't think the cops would be able to do much.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let them try. Let's see what happens.
You're just going to go right in the face of the law. I like it. So, no, sorry. You were saying that why would it be extra weird? You don't interact, but you have a Facebook connection.
Well, I guess
which is the least connected you can be to someone and still be connected to them in general.
Right. Well, I think I'm basing it on the fact that a couple of years ago, my high school boyfriend, my very first real boyfriend, got in touch with me and was like, "Hey, I've been dreaming about you frequently lately.
Oh, weird.
And we've been having these long discussions, and I'm kind of going through some stuff in my life.
In the dreams, you're having long discussions.
In the dreams, we're having long discussions. So he Facebook messaged me to say, like, hey, been having these long dreams about you, where we're having these like very intense discussions. I know it's probably a crazy thing to ask, but would you ever consider just chatting for a little while? Because I'm working through some stuff in my life, and
here's a dick
I'd love
pic.
to hear.
Just to remind you of who I am.
Yeah, just so, yeah. Thanks for outing that.
Sure.
And when he reached out to me, I sort of had the reaction of like, wow, that's real weird. I haven't seen this guy in a long time.
Did you let the guy talk to you?
We wound up talking. Like, I chatted with my husband about it.
Mark Dalbus is watching. Also,
Hey.
Mark wrote 2 of the Star Snakes
Oh,
from the video game Pals.
very nice.
Yes, very
Okay.
nice. Mark is now living in Chicago. He is a former Second City Tourco dude.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. A+ for tour.
And Learboy is a pilot. It's not as important as an improviser, but are you still in touch with your high school boyfriend? I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, that's okay. No, it's really important. You've got to.
I've got fan service.
Yeah, it's talk to the fans. No, we just wound up talking that once. Like, I talked to my husband about it and was just like, hey, this guy reached out of the blue, and he's like, what do you think? And I was like, I'm super curious. Like, I haven't talked to this guy pretty much since we broke up in high school. So,
Oh, okay.
like, I'm definitely curious. And he's like, hell yeah, I'd be super curious to know what's going on.
Oh,
So I
he was into it.
entertained the phone call, and it was fascinating. It was
Interesting.
a fascinating phone call. It was so interesting to talk to somebody like a bunch of years later and be like, "Oh, you haven't changed at all. Like, you have not emotionally grown one bit. You have not
Ouch.
changed in any significant way." He was not a great boyfriend at the time, which, you know, I probably was no great shakes as a girlfriend either, but like,
Oh, I don't have any doubt about that.
yeah, no, it's definitely true. But isn't that what ends marriages?
What's that? letting your Mark? What are you saying? Is that letting the high school boyfriend come back in for a phone call? Is that what ends a marriage? Or realizing that you're dreaming about other people?
No, it's okay.
Be more specific.
I only talk to men that my husband approves.
Oh,
so
good.
It's fine.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad that I asked permission first.
We're very
He
clear.
let you take off the veil before you left the house.
The blinders. It's just, this guy had not grown at all, and my theory beforehand was like, well, it's probably like either he's in AA and is apologizing to people,
Interesting.
or maybe he's getting divorced, or maybe there's some big life issue, maybe he's coming out, like maybe there's something happening.
Ooh.
But it turned out he was getting divorced.
So Facebook reconnects our bad news sometimes.
Yeah,
I suppose they could be.
Yeah.
But in my case, I am friends with pretty much everyone I've ever smooched on Facebook.
Really? Or sent a dick pic to?
I've never sent a dick pic to anyone unless it was a drawing of a weird, like, monstrous dick. And those are a very special crew of people that are not ladies.
Is Chris Dooley one of those
Chris
people?
Dooley is a local parent, an upstanding citizen.
Okay.
His son and Asher are besties.
Oh,
They play lots of Minecraft together.
that's very nice.
Bye, Dustin. Good luck closing the office. Crying. Hey, here's John Henry. Here, this is a Florida Star Snake calling in. I'm surprised he's not doing Twitch streaming right now, because he does Twitch streaming.
Oh.
I wouldn't be watching, because I was watching the Call of Duty playoffs that are happening right now. Oh, no. Well, I did send you a dick pic, Dustin, but I was just asking your advice about that thing that was on it. It fell off.
It was a donut.
I was like, what do you think about this? Does this interest you? At least partially, the donut part.
I'm glad it fell off. It's always good when that happens.
I was in the shower. So the donut was not meant to last in the shower.
John Henry is
you're
saying
saying-
Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday.
Those are the days that he streams
Oh.
his video games.
Ah.
We should. Oh, you know what? We should do a thing. You bought. Did Psycho Vandal? Did you buy Sea of Thieves? Oh, you don't. Yeah, I know you have an Xbox. We could do Sea of Thieves streaming together. because I only launched that game once, and it's not fun alone. Anyway, but so I was saying that I am friendly with all
the people that
people I have
you've smooched upon.
It's not very many, but the one that was risky was this one girl that I asked Jody. I was like, this girl reached out to me. I don't know how you feel about this person reconnecting, but she was like, I do not care. I was like, all right. So.
Oh, John Henry is chiming in to say it makes him sick.
Oh, the seasick plus simulation sickness is bad. It is a lot of.
Is it VR?
No, it's basically.
You said it's on Xbox.
It's like a. You're a pirate, and you have different sized pirate ships depending on how many people you have on your team. Like you can there's all kinds of stuff that needs to be done. But if you're doing it alone, you have to be like, okay, I'm steering the ship. Now I have to go back down and look at the map to see if I'm still going in the right direction. No, I went the wrong way. I need to steer over the other ship. And then it's just it's neat, but it's just not fun enough to play. And it was a real bummer because I was like, this game looks great. I'll buy it. It's $60. I played it once and was like, this game is not fun.
Yeah.
It looks real pretty, but it's not fun. And I think the way that most people feel about it. I am not on the Game Pass, although it makes sense. Xbox has a Game Pass where it's $10 a month and you get all the games.
Yes, I'm familiar.
And playoffs.
Guys, I'm female and I know what Game Pass is. So, yeah, it happens sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But Matt Callum is another person I went to high school with.
Oh, Borderlands 2.
For retro gaming. I played a lot of Borderlands 2. But I just got burnt out. I think my issue with Borderlands, it's a video game.
No, what is that? What is that about?
Is that the world is always empty. So like you go to these places and you clear out all the monsters and it still remains a barren wasteland that you have to keep going back to, and it's just a real bummer. But I did enjoy it quite a bit. But just everyone is dead in it, or if they're not dead, you're killing them. So they did some very clever things.
Like my Tuesday.
Sounds like your dating life.
Yeah, pretty dead because I'm married.
That's true.
Probably why.
But so I'm so glad you could come sit in the car.
Me too.
It's so great.
Yay.
I was telling Rachel earlier that I don't know if anyone watched the earlier stream, but I did not sleep at all last night because of the jackhammering. You can see that this manhole cover out here with the red line.
Yeah.
That's the one that they were. I don't know if they were jackhammering that to get it out, but they were jackhammering at 2:30 in the morning, which is an early time for jackhammering.
Literal jackhammering.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just gonna stop that right there.
Oh, I was hoping Matt Callum was still on watching because I believe he drives a truck for a living, perhaps, or for a part of his job. And I was reading a thing saying that there's a huge shortage of truck drivers in the country.
I was just reading that myself.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's like 50,000 shortage of truck drivers in the U.S. And there's like this torn thing where it's like the pay's not so great, and you have no social life, and you miss your whole family and everything. But they're offering bonuses and all this other stuff. So.
Yeah, this is one of those weird fields that I happen to know a lot about.
Whoa.
So I used to work with a logistics company, and there...
oh, sure.
Yeah, and there is a real issue, especially with long-haul drivers, where they are treated really badly.
Yeah.
Really, really badly, and it's hard to get paid, and it's crazy that it's an industry that still does most of its work on pen and paper. Like, you call a guy in the office saying you want to ship all this cargo somewhere, and he hand writes you out a report on nuts. That has a cyan sheet or like a yellow sheet, a red sheet, and a green sheet, and
right.
it's your job to carry that sheet here and get it.
You take the duplicate over here. I'll take the triplicate over here, and this goes in the bank.
Yep, exactly. And this goes here, and there are all kinds of.
Stamp.
It's totally that, and there are all kinds of issues with guys showing up to like unload their cargo, and they have to do it by a certain time, and companies really mess with them about like, sorry, there's a backlog, you got to wait 6 hours, or like, sorry, the guys who would normally unload this aren't here, you got to do it yourself. So it's a real hard field to be in. There are a lot of fascinating message boards that truckers participate in.
Yeah, I was going to do a podcast about this one trucker forum, but it was really boring. The only interesting thing was the whole thing about lot lizards, the prostitutes at the gas stations and whatever. And
you mean the LLs?
I guess if you
that's how they're abbreviated.
I guess you use the code, the inside language of the code.
It's real special, yeah. LLs.
But my college roommate Jeff, he was like the super frugal, double major, like sociology and psychology guy who decided he just wanted to be a mover.
Okay.
And so, man, he always wore the same sweatpants, and he wore a jock strap under the sweatpants, and he wore a sweatshirt. And he would go, and he always brought his own lunch, and he was always very beef and bread, white bread, and but he got his CDL because he was like, in order to make even more money, he would do the thing. And he worked for a company. It had a name. I don't want to say it's Dynamic Movers, but there was another company that was also in Milwaukee that was very popular. And I forget which one was called the Potentate of Holland Freight. But
how excited was that person when
came
they
up with
came
that
up
great
that
rhyme?
rhyme?
Yep. But they got the job. The company he worked for got bought by some national company, and they had the contract to move NFL players. So whenever like someone was being traded from like Green Bay or some other Midwestern town to another Midwestern town, they would have to do it, and he would have to do all the long haul trucking, and he'd be gone for several days. I'd be like, yay, I have the place to myself. But wow,
the
Potentate of Holland Freight.
I'm just blown away. Man, can you make that NFL friendly?
I don't know. The Potentate of Deflategate. That's a Patriots slam. Tom Brady, you're a bum.
Haul around town of first and down?
Yeah.
I'm just spitballing here.
The first down of Holland Gowns. That's if it's like a ladies football league.
Oh.
Yeah, which is it's a thing.
LFL?
Yeah.
Ladies football?
The ladies football league.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, this is John Henry's wife.
Oh, good.
Desiree, and she used to live in the Park Slope area.
Wow.
But now they both live in Florida, and I believe she works at Full Sail University. I hate if I'm wrong for one of the online universities.
Okay.
But I met her and John 2 years ago. At that Nathan Fillion birthday party, and we shared an Airbnb, and I learned so much about the online university deep, because I think that they also offer in-person classes that she went through, and that's how she got to work for them, because they rope you into working there.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
That's how they get you?
That's how they get you. Yeah.
Oh, she does work there. You got it right.
I have the worst memory, but it worked today.
Well, Desiree, you made the cut because Lou remembered, so bravo.
This is true.
That's great.
There are people that I see once a month whose names I cannot remember.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, or 2 birthdays ago. Yeah, I don't know. it has a lot to do with the improv show. Like, there are people there, I'm like, I don't know if I should remember your name. These people are here for today. I don't know. All the singers and stuff, I can never remember their names.
Oh, man.
And they're always like, yeah, I've met you before. I'm like, it's not only that I don't remember your name, I also don't remember your face.
Oh, boy.
I remember in Milwaukee, there was a guy who I met who was friends with my friend Mark. And it might even be this guy, Bill. But at one point, I was like really trying to be more outgoing about introducing myself to people. And I was like, oh, I'm Lou. And the guy was like, I've met you like 5 times. It's like, ooh. I apologize.
Yeah.
So now these days, I'll be like, please forgive me. Have we met? Because I have a Swiss cheese memory.
That's
and
smart.
Unless you've wronged me, or which I don't recommend doing, because the consequences are
it's a bad place to be.
or I have some sort of unbelievably powerful desire for you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I won't remember you. Either.
I can see that. I'm pretty bad with names too. I'm usually pretty good with faces, but just terrible with names. But the worst feelings for me are when someone says, instead of nice to meet you, nice to see you. When someone says that to me, because that's a clear indicator, like, we've met before, and I have zero recollection of it, and I feel horrible immediately. Right. And that's hard to pull back from, too, because you're halfway through being like, nice to see you. Oh, shit, I just messed it up. That's a bad feeling.
Look,
but...
Lisa Nashanian is watching.
Hey, Lisa. Hey.
Now it's a Riot reunion.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Hooray. But the second really bad association I have with, like, not remembering people is it wasn't me. I wasn't the jerk in this situation.
Okay,
it was somebody not remembering me.
And
so, hey, Lisa. But yeah, a long time ago, I used to run my own variety show. I had this weekly show.
Oh, you mean Ash Wednesday?
Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
And I used to book people for it. So it was we would book comedy acts to be a part of it, and then I was in a group that would host the show, and we'd play at the end.
Sure.
And there was this woman who was, in the improv scene at the time, who kept trying to get on the show, and she would come to the show and introduce herself to me afterwards. And her name was also Rachel, so she would come up to me afterwards and be like, "Hey,
I'm Rachel Dolezal."
Yes.
She's the only Rachel I could think of.
Is it? I thought it was Dolezal.
Dolezal, maybe.
Dolezal. Yeah, not her. We're best friends. Okay. Different Rachel. We all know each other. But this one Rachel would come up to me after the show and would always very forcefully put out her hand to shake my hand, very professional. Hi, Rachel, I've seen your work around. I'm Rachel. It's really lovely to meet you. I wanted to pitch my group to you, and her group had some terrible, pun name of some kind, Fart Deco or whatever, and
that's a great one.
Yes, not courtesy of other smarter people than me have thought of that. But
well, now Rivington is watching.
Yay, Riv! Hi. Yay. But yeah, so she did this a bunch of different times, and she, hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'd love to be booked on your show. Me and Fart Deco would love to be a part of it. And every time I would be like, Rachel, we've met. And she'd be like, no, I mean, be online, we've seen each other around. I'd be like, this is the 4th time you've introduced yourself to me. As I keep telling you, I don't have room for your group just yet, but I'll certainly keep you in mind. And I think it was the 5th or 6th time that she did it. She just stopped coming to shows.
But you would remind her every time?
Every time. Because it started to get funny, where I was like, we have to laugh about this.
It wasn't Rachel Biello, was it? That little short lady? No. Okay.
It was not. I will not out her last name.
All right. I want the internet to find it. I want you to dox this lady. Whoever this lady is, dox her.
But yeah, I wish to this day, I wish I knew,
that's funny.
What was going on there.
That happened to me similarly, but not with that repetition. But when I was living in Milwaukee, I went to a party and I met our friend Donnell had this new boyfriend, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he, we met at this party and we talked and whatever, and then like a week later, it was my birthday, and he was at he showed up at my birthday party, and I was just like, oh hey Donnell and Tim, and he was just like, I haven't met you, I don't know, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's my fucking birthday. My birthday, you don't know who I am? Fuck this guy.
Oh, Lisa just chimed in to say she dated a guy that kept introducing himself to her.
Whoa. Just be like, hey, how's it going? My name is Frank. We used to date. So I've already got it in. Nice.
Yeah.
Did that work for him? Or did you keep dating him
Successful strategy?
in short bursts every time he reintroduced himself to you? Or were you like, I don't know if you recall, you're a jerk.
You met my mom?
Yeah.
She made you dinner. Passover was fun with you there. Good.
Oh,
no?
Man. Let's see. Can I see who's watching? Because this wasn't working before. No! It was a memorable singular date.
Just the one?
Just the one. So it was a one and done, but he kept being like, hey, what's happening?
She says, I told him every time.
It was a memorable date for you. Maybe not for him.
Wow, he even cooked for you. What do you remember what he made?
What did he make? It wasn't that, what's it called? That there's like that. Oh, you were on 2 dates. It's called
mac and cheese.
Nope, not mac and cheese. But there's like that sort of recipe that's called like fuck me lasagna or it's like
no, I don't know.
There was an episode of Risk where this girl talks about how she had not been successful landing getting to the sex part of dating, and someone was like, "Oh, you need to make the guy this Italian meal that never fails."
What?
And so he, it was very formal. Welcome to my meal. May I have a seat here? I see you don't know how to use a knife and fork. But so yeah, it has some sort of name among the Tinder crowd called like fuck me penny a la vodka. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what it is. Fuck me penny a la vodka.
Okay.
And so in the podcast episode, she says that she had no luck, and then she makes this meal for the guy, and before the meal's over, they have sex.
What?
And then they go back and finish the meal, and he just like can't even and then the relationship does not work out. But
no,
she said that that meal had never failed her since then, and then she offered to give the women in the restaurant the meal. Unfortunately, the main ingredient is rhino horn.
I was just about to ask.
Not really. So Lisa says that he lived around the corner and said he'd drive her home.
Not in a car. It was a different kind of driving.
Yeah, he was like, I'll get you there. I'm good at it. If you get what I'm saying. I'm also good at cooking foods. Hope you like. Hey, I was taught by a very famous chef, Boyardee.
By the way, my name is Frank.
Frank Boyardee. Oh, wait. No.
I know we're mid-date, so I should reintroduce myself.
Yes. Maybe he was like the Memento guy. If he reintroduced himself.
Lisa, did he have a lot of tattoos?
Yeah, he was like, I'm on a date. Was he
Guy Pearce? That you dated?
Man, that'd be impressive.
She said he offered to drive her home in a car.
No, it wasn't really canned cuisine. Was it?
I hope not.
A la cuisine!
I cannot see the likes of fiery, delightful Lisa Nishanian standing for someone cracking open a can to serve her dinner.
Don't worry, this is my favorite Progresso soup.
Ooh, beef and lentil.
And I also, I add my own spices. Garlic powder, pepper flakes.
So you like to cook. You're a good cook.
I was actually, wait.
What?
What did I do with that book? No, I was reading this book. It'll be backwards because we're on Facebook. But it's called Toss Your Own Salad.
Ooh.
and it is sort of a meatless cookbook.
That's awesome. Have you seen Thug Kitchen?
No, I remember when Thug Kitchen, the rise of Thug Kitchen on social media, and then they made the Thug Kitchen book, and then I think I have it on my iPad because Amazon was giving it away for free. I don't think it was a success as much as the website was.
Yeah, the website was pretty badass. The book is pretty good. Got some good stuff in it.
Yeah, I remember the book being very. I remember the web bits being very funny, and it's too bad he couldn't keep it up. He or she.
I know. They say "damn" a lot. It's really fun. I've got lots of comments for that book, says Lisa.
You mean for owning it? Or you have comments for the book that you want to give the book. This is not the proper avenue for those comments, if that's what you're saying.
So, I mean, we can try to pass it along.
I mean, I don't know the guy who wrote it, but I'm sure that... the tossing salad.
The tossing salad, yeah. I feel like that was intentional.
Yes. Do you have that book too? I've only made one thing from the book, and it was okay, but...
From the tossing salad book?
Yeah.
Or from, okay.
Yeah. Yes, of course. This is the kind of thing you don't want to have on your date, where you're like, hey, I've been tossing my own salad all night. I'm extremely flexible.
It's something I do in my spare time.
But
so wait, what attracted you to the idea of a book about meatless cooking?
Oh, trying to be a healthier person in general.
Ah, I see.
Oh, Eric Holden is saying I've only tossed the book. Is that because you didn't like it? I'm not sure.
He's not a fan of salad.
I think I made this. I did. I wrote, was bland, needs hot sauce.
How do you keep notes for yourself? Actually,
I was having trouble finding Satan.
Satan. For those of you who
I don't have any problem with finding Satan because he is our Lord. Anyway.
Seitan is like a pressed smoked tofu.
Is that what it is? It's the tofu?
Yes.
Because I made a really great.
Oh, wait a minute.
I have a great cookbook called Great Bowls of Fire.
Okay.
Which does not lead to great bowels of fire, which some people are afraid it will. But it had a thing called Evil Jungle Peanut Chicken, and it is really good, but I made it with the seitan instead of the chicken, and it was fine. It is fake meat.
It is totally fake meat. And by the way...
It's not fake food because it is edible. It's not like... You ever see that video of that guy making the wax cauliflower in Japan? It's like,
yes. Yep.
Like
I know exactly what you're talking
layer
about. Like
upon
in the water
layer of
and
wax in the water and then folding it over so delicately. It's a lovely meditative piece of video.
It is. And I'm sorry, I want to correct. I fact-checked myself.
Okay,
I was wrong. Seitan is actually pressed wheat gluten. And tempeh is it's a fermented soybean cake. And those are the two main meat substitutes that are often used.
I can remember
which is which.
Growing up, and there was the show called That's Incredible. And... with Byron Allen. He was one of the people on it. But there was an episode. Was it that or was it Beyond 2000? Anyway, there was a show about in Japan they were working on a way to extract the solids from human waste and make it into a sausage.
Nope.
And
nope.
Nope. But the thing is, you would never know.
No, I would know. We all would know.
But like they showed the whole process, like not the pooping process. Hi, Ann. But they showed like the waste, and then they strain all the water out, and they bake the heck out of it, and then they make sure it's not like unsafe.
Nope.
And then they made a sausage.
Yeah, I'm not eating poop sausage. Maybe I'm closed-minded, and that's something I'm working on. But I feel like if your body wasn't able to digest it the first time, then maybe you shouldn't have to try to digest it a second time.
I don't know. I think you're being close-minded. There's not, someone's got to try it, and it's going to be you.
It probably will be, at some point.
This is the future of meat.
Would you consider...
It's a meatless meat. It's just another way of not eating, maybe it was once meat, and now it's poop, and then now it's another meat.
So there's mincemeat, and then there's once meat?
Yeah, once meat, now poop, now once again sausage. It sounds great. It
does sound great. Hey, so backing away from poop and eating poop.
Oh, man.
I know. We'll get back to it. For meatless cooking, there is a chain restaurant that's here in New York and a bunch of other places called By Chloe, which I know that you've been to.
I have been
and she
to
just recently put out a cookbook that has a lot of those recipes in it, and they are delicious. They are way better than they have any right to be. Have you tried the Impossible Burger yet?
Is that a frozen burger you can buy at a store, Eric Holden from Seattle, Washington?
Isn't that the burger that's made? There's a burger that is a vegan burger, but it bleeds. And I think it's got like beet juice in it to make it bleed or something like that. I think that's what he's talking about.
I'll tell you what I do like is I really like Trader Joe's quinoa veggie burgers are great.
Really?
And then Dr. Prager, who of course makes the famous California veggie burger.
Right.
But they have one they were calling the bibimbap burger, which is like, Korean flavor. Now they call it Korean BBQ flavor because people were like, bibimbap, what the fuck is that? And then they also have a Tex-Mex one, and they are a super duper. And I eat a ton of them.
That sounds very tasty.
I totally defeat the purpose of their low caloriness by eating 4 times as many of them. I really fill my entire food canal with food. I'm never not going to the bathroom. I brought it back to poop.
Damn it.
Yeah. It's a very unique taste.
I'm not sifting your poop to make sausage.
It's already sausage shape.
Not again. I'm not doing it again.
You remember there was in Mad Magazine, there was Al Jaffe.
Oh, I loved Al Jaffe.
He made a whole series of cartoons when the poop scoop thing came out.
Bye, Lisa.
And the poops were always represented as little sausages. He was prophetic.
Oh, truly he was. Man, way ahead of his time. Wow, there is somebody I know who plays for our show sometimes. Her name is Rachel Kaufman. And she is the biggest collector of Mad Magazine stuff I have ever met.
That's her name.
That's her name.
Okay.
And she's not only a very talented person, but she actually has some free hand drawings from some of the artists.
You're right. We were talking about that last time.
I forget if Al Jaffe is one of them. I think she has a Mort Drucker, and she has I think she has a Sergio Aragonés.
Nice.
But she's
jealous.
Yeah.
I hope it's not from his press your luck face. I'm not a fan of the whammies.
No whammies.
Big bucks.
No whammies.
No whammies.
No, I think she met him at a convention or something like that. Or no, there was one that she got in a convention, and one where she just met somebody in a hotel. It was like, hey, I recognize you. I'm a huge fan of yours. Would you mind signing this for me? And so she has a cocktail napkin with a doodle on it. Yes.
I once met
Do you recall who drew Spy vs. Spy?
His name was drawn in. His name was spelled out in Morse code, so I don't. But I do remember that.
Yes.
That's what he used to do.
Yes.
And I was never able to somehow draw them, even though they're mostly comprised of triangles.
What do you mean you were never able to?
When I would try to draw them, it just
right?
didn't look right.
Interesting.
Those hats.
Oh, those are tough.
I'm really not good at drawing all those fancy hats. I did one time look up that guy's name in Morse code and spell it out, but I think I was probably in grade school. Back when one has the time to do those things. Oh, now that I'm unemployed, I can do whatever I want. Yay.
Like sit in your car.
Yeah. Well, I have to do that anyway. I had to do that when I had a job.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, so you've probably done this a bunch of times, so I'm sorry that I'm late to the punch, but can you explain the point of sitting in the car? What's the deal around this?
You have to be in the car or you'll get a ticket.
So you have to be in the car, but does the car have to move?
No.
At some point? You can just leave your car. For example, here...
Thank you, Eric Holden, for Antonio Proyas.
Nice. Oh, thank you for asking Google, Eric.
Nope. No, you did not spoil anything. The hunt was very short. So the idea is, on other streets, where last 2 weeks that I've had to do alternate side parking, I've been on other streets in the neighborhood where you sit in your car and then the street sweeper actually comes.
Okay.
And you just move over and then move back.
Okay.
And you still have to sit in the car because you're parked illegally. Because the time is not, you're not allowed to be here.
I see.
So in this street, it's from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for some reason. You're not allowed to be in your car on this side of the street until 6 p.m.
Not allowed to be in your car.
Or you're not allowed to have the car here. The only way that you won't get a ticket is if you're physically here to move it in case they come to tell you to move.
At 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m.
Okay. So...
It doesn't make any sense. It's a really stupid rule.
Wait, I'm really confused, though. Because it says no parking from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Right, so that's why I have to move over there and sit in it until... I have to move it early, otherwise I won't get a spot.
Okay.
Right, so that's why I have to sit in there. If I could just wait until 6 and then move it over, that'd be great. But because the demand is so high for parking spots in this neighborhood, you have to be super early to do it.
I see. I'm still confused by this rule, but I've learned better than to fight the man.
I mean, it's just if you move your car over, until 6 o'clock or till 8 a.m. over there, you're parked illegally. And if you move your car back here before 6 p.m., you're parked illegally,
okay.
And you have to sit in the car in case. It's literally like a stupid catch-22 nonsense rule where they're just like, we give you a ticket unless you're in the car.
That's so crazy.
It's just, typical bureaucratic red tape.
And what's funny is, like, you guys can't see this, but there are probably like 10 or 12 other cars on this block with people sitting in the car doing the exact same thing as I was walking up here, except they're not talking to you guys.
Yeah.
So you would be missing out. They would be missing out. But yeah, there are people just like reading books and chatting, making phone calls. And
so you don't actually have to sit in the car. Like, potentially we could stand over there.
Okay.
Or stand across the street. But if the meter dudes, the ticket, I don't know what to call them, the ticket people come, you need to be able to run and sit in your car. Or say, I'm here with that car. And unless you're in the car, they'll give you a ticket. Because this morning they were giving out the 2 Asian dudes who were like gang ticketing the block. So
that's not how I thought that sentence was going to end.
Yeah, there was a lot of ticketing.
Wow.
Hot, wet ticketing. Yeah. But and then when the guy walked by me and I looked at him and he looked at me like...
He was mad?
He was like, why are you parked here so early? See, I avoided using the accent I wanted to.
I think we're all thankful for that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, it's 6:02.
Yeah,
so
we're well past our time. We're just chatting now.
Okay.
But thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed listening to us chat, and we appreciated your chiming in because that's an important part of passing the time while we're in the car.
Yay.
We'll see you guys later next week, or I will. See you later. Thanks, Rachel.
Bye.
Close.